All right, today we're diving into something I think you'll find fascinating. It's an ancient operating manual for life. Seriously, it's a framework that was designed centuries ago, but you know what? It might just be the perfect guide for finding a little bit of calm and purpose in our totally chaotic modern world. So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're on a hamster wheel? You know, you're chasing that next promotion, that next success, the next fun thing, really hoping this will be the thing that brings lasting happiness. But the pleasure, it's always temporary, right? And then you're right back to searching for the next thing. It's a feeling we all know. And what our source material suggests is that the problem isn't the chase itself, it's that we're looking in all the wrong places. And that brings us perfectly to our first section. We're calling it the happiness trap. We're going to diagnose exactly why that deep, real sense of peace can feel so out of reach, even when everything on the surface seems to be going just fine. Okay, this is a really crucial distinction that comes from Eastern wisdom. Pleasure is not the same thing as happiness. Not even close. See, pleasure comes from the outside world. A new gadget, a great meal, someone praising you. It's awesome, but it's temporary, and it totally depends on things you can't control. True happiness, on the other hand, well, that's an inside job. It comes from your own true nature, and it's permanent, totally independent of all the chaos happening out there.
So here's the big shift in thinking. The problem isn't your job, it's not your relationships, it's not the state of the world. The core problem is your mind's relationship to it all. It's this pleasure-seeking mind that's always looking for the next external thing to feel complete. And that's a game you can literally never win.
And this is a brilliant way to understand the root of all that seeking. We get so caught up in what the source calls the false I, or, the ego. Think about it like this. You are the vast, deep, calm ocean. The false I is just a temporary wave that rises and falls on the surface. Or you're the actor, but you've completely forgotten you're not the character you're playing on stage. These identities we cling to, our job title, our family role, they're just roles. They're temporary. Our true self is that unchanging awareness behind it all. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where it gets really practical. Let's move on and look at how this ancient text, the Sadhana Panchakam, gives us a step-by-step operating manual for life. Now, the key concept here is sadhana. And please, don't let the word throw you off. This is not about religion or blind faith. Just think of it as a method. It's a set of time-tested practices like a technology for the mind, all designed for one specific goal, self-discovery and the end of suffering. It's a how-to guide. And this isn't some vague, flowery philosophy. Not at all. This operating manual lays out, get this, 40 distinct actionable instructions. It's a precise roadmap to get you from a state of distraction and stress to one of clarity and peace. The process itself is laid out in 3 clear stages. First, it all begins with Shravana, which just means listening, really learning the principles. Then you move to Manan, which is deep reflection. You contemplate these ideas until they click, until they really make sense to you. And finally, there's Nijidasana, or meditation. This is where you focus on these truths so deeply that they stop being just ideas in your head and become your direct, lived experience. And that right there, that's how knowledge becomes true wisdom.
Now, 40 steps. I know it can sound a little overwhelming. So where on earth do you start? Well, this next section is perfect. It breaks down the very first 5 foundational steps, and it makes this whole ancient system super accessible and practical for your life right now.
And here's a pretty cool modern way to remember where to begin, the SMART path. You start with daily study to keep these ideas fresh in your mind. Then you get to work transforming your daily life. You perform your duties with mindfulness. You align your actions with a higher purpose. You learn to release those purely desire-driven impulses. And finally, you work to transform the mental baggage from past actions. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that this journey doesn't start by running away to a cave or a monastery. It starts right here, right where you are. The whole practice of what's called karma yoga is about transforming your everyday life, your job, your family duties, all your interactions, into the very vehicle for your growth. It's all about how you show up in the world. All right, let's keep going, because this is where it gets really interesting. Once you start shifting your outer actions, the focus naturally turns inward. This next phase is all about the inner battle for your mind, the systematic process of purifying your inner world. So within each of us, there are these 2 opposing forces at play. On one side, you've got the 6 inner enemies, things like reactive anger, greed, jealousy, all the patterns that just fuel our suffering. But then on the other side, you have the 6 inner treasures, qualities like inner peace, self-control, and resilience. The whole practice is about systematically starving the enemies and feeding the treasures. So how do you actually do that? Well, it all comes down to cultivating what's called an objective mind. That just means learning to see things as they really are, without the filter of your personal likes and dislikes, your attachments and your aversions. It means learning to see the limitations and the temporary nature of the things you crave and the things you fear. That objectivity, that's the bedrock of inner peace. And this brings us to the ultimate promise of this whole path. And it's not about becoming some dull, emotionless robot. Actually, it's the complete opposite. The goal is nothing less than to make your entire life a celebration. The ultimate vision is a profound shift in how you experience your own life. You go from being like a puppet pulled by the strings of external events and your own inner reactions to living from a stable center of freedom, purpose, and this unshakable, abiding peace, no matter what's happening on the outside. This beautiful quote from the Bhagavad Gita just perfectly illustrates that final understanding. Think about it. Just as the wind moves through space, but it isn't the space itself, all of your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings, all the events of your life, they happen within you, but they are not you. Your true self is the vast, silent awareness in which all of life unfolds. Ultimately, that's what this is all about. Your life is a journey from all those temporary roles we play back to the true self that you always are. And this ancient wisdom, it's the script for that journey. So the only question left is, are you ready to read it?